5 years ago, imposter syndrome used to haunt me almost every day. Eventually, I thought I had outgrown it. But until very recently, I started experiencing it back again and I saw it return. And that terrified me at first because I thought, how can I still feel the same imposter syndrome after all these years? But then I realized something that completely shifted my perspective around imposter syndrome, which is what if imposter syndrome is not a personal flaw? What if it is a symptom? What if it is a sign that your soul is entering a new territory? What if it is that way? So let's deep dive into this. Well, 5 years back, I just freshly came out of my dark night of the soul and began my journey as a spiritual teacher and coach. Now, I had no idea what I was doing. How am I going to help people return back to inner harmony? All I knew was that there was this strong calling from my inner guidance that I am supposed to share the wisdom, the realizations about inner harmony and inner alignment with the world because I came out of the dark night of the soul. But every single time that I had a coaching call or I would be having a conversation with a person on the internet and trying to help them, I would feel like a fraud, like an imposter. I would feel like, what if I don't know what I'm doing? What if this calling is wrong? What if, you know, people judge me? What if they think that I am not worthy to help another person the way I'm called to help? And of all the things that used to bother me, the main thing, the most annoying inner dialogue was, what if I'm not relevant? What if my teachings are not relevant? What if my downloads, my sharings, my realizations, my integrations are not relevant? You know? And it used to cause me so much fear. It used to make me feel that, not worthy. I used to have huge challenges charging a fee for my services, my coaching services, pricing my programs and whatnot, because I used to constantly feel like, what if I am not relevant? What if, people think I'm a fraud? Because, especially in the spiritual area of things, there are many times people do not come from the most aligned and authentic place. So, what if they think I am one of them? But after 5 plus years, after having multiple coaching calls, getting testimonials, doing master classes, having programs, people signing up for my programs, having a YouTube channel, writing newsletters, and being validated again and again and again from the outside that yes, my work is relevant, as I saw people transform, experience deeper level of inner understanding, inner alignment, inner harmony, which is the essence of my work and what I do and what this YouTube channel is about. As I saw it happen many, many times, that imposter syndrome or the feeling of being an imposter and a fraud started fading away. And I thought, like, wow, I'm out of this. I have conquered it. That is never going to come back again. I was wrong. Apparently, just this year in January, when I began a completely new venture, another new business, which is towards an entirely different audience, which is where I'm trying to help software engineers in the tech industry with their communication challenges, as a communication coach. I started building that business in January this year. And within the first 2 to 3 months, what I noticed was a reappearance of the almost same imposter syndrome once again, exactly how it was before. As I started DMing software engineers, senior software engineers, architects, over LinkedIn, trying to have discovery calls, trying to figure out what their challenges are and how I can help them, I felt like an imposter again. I started feeling, what if they are going to think that I don't know what I'm doing? What if they are going to think like, I do not belong in the corporate world? What if they see through me and find me that, I'm lacking in something? You know, very similar thoughts. And I was like, man, I've gone through this. I've been an entrepreneur for such a long time. And I thought I was over this imposter thing. Then why is it happening once again? And now that it has been almost 5 months that I've been doing this new business as a communication coach, and I've had some discovery calls, and now I am much more acquainted with the corporate world and what kind of challenges software engineers face and how I can help them, because I've had actual interactions with my ideal audience, software engineers. The imposter syndrome is again going down. And what I'm realizing is the understanding of what imposter syndrome is and why we experience it, because it happened to me twice now. What I've understood is this: imposter syndrome is not a personal flaw. Whenever we experience it, we feel like, man, there is something wrong with me. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I judging myself so harshly? Why I feel like a fraud, you know, when there's not a reason to feel that way. But most often, the reason you feel that way is because your soul is entering a new territory. When I entered as a spiritual coach and teacher in 2020, I was entering a completely new territory. When I'm entering as a communication coach for software engineers, I'm again entering a new territory. And every single time, the feeling of being a complete stranger in a different city comes in. What if the people are not going to think I'm the citizen? What if I do not belong? What if they ostracize me? What if they think like, I'm just don't belong there? It's the feeling of being a stranger in a different city is what the soul experiences every time you enter a new territory. And that is precisely what imposter syndrome is. What is happening is that this realization has given me the clarity that imposter syndrome is going to happen again and again every single time I'm going to enter a new territory, something new, somewhere I'm not previously experienced in. I'm going to feel that I don't belong there. I'm going to feel an awesome lot of fear around being judged. And that is nothing to be afraid of. It's just a sign that I'm allowing my soul to expand. And it comes with the temporary fear, overwhelm, and uncertainty of being exposed to a completely different audience and different territory. So, if you have been experiencing imposter syndrome, I would urge you to reflect on what I have shared in this video. Are you entering a different territory? Have you entered a different territory? Do you know that where you're going is what you are truly aligned with and what you are here to bring? Maybe it's your services, maybe it's your gifts, maybe it's your knowledge or wisdom or perspective, do you feel, or rather, do you believe in them? If you do, then this uncertainty and this fear and the overwhelming anxiety, which is coming right now in the form of imposter syndrome, is going to soon go away. The more you walk this path, the more you get acquainted with this new territory, you won't feel like an outsider in this new place. You are going to soon become a citizen. But do not judge yourself. And then, especially if you are entering a new territory, do not consider your imposter syndrome as a personal flaw. It is a symptom that your soul is expanding into a new territory. So reflect on that. If what I have shared with you has resonated, then I would deeply appreciate if you leave a comment under this video. And if you want to experience more of my sharings and realizations on inner patterns like this, how to experience inner harmony, how to bring inner alignment, and how to walk your life purpose, then consider subscribing for my weekly free newsletters where I share in depth about this. The link will be in the description for you to sign up. And if you have enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you again soon. Have an awesome day ahead.